At some point in your life, you watched someone struggle and did nothing. Not because you are cruel, not because you did not care. You did care. You looked around, saw other people not moving, and you did not move either. You told yourself someone else would handle it, someone more qualified, someone closer, someone better, and then you kept walking. This video is about why you did that, and why without understanding it, you will do it again. The research does not call you a monster, it calls you normal, and that is somehow worse. March 13th, 1964, Queens, New York, 3:15 in the morning. A 28-year-old woman named Kitty Genovese is walking home from work. She is 100 feet from her front door. A man named Winston Mosley steps out of the shadows and stabs her twice in the back. She screams. Lights come on in the apartments above. A neighbor shouts from a window. Mosley looks up, sees the lights, walks back to his car. Kitty drags herself to the side of the building. She is bleeding badly. She cannot stand. She calls for help. The lights above stay on. The windows stay open. Nobody comes down. After a few minutes, the lights begin going off again. Mosley watches from his car. He sees the lights go off. He gets out. The entire attack lasts 35 minutes. 38 of her neighbors heard or saw something that night. Not one called for help until it was over. The newspapers declared it proof that modern life had destroyed the human soul. But two psychologists didn't buy that answer. They thought the crowd itself was the weapon. 1968. Darley and Latan invited university students to a lab. Each student placed alone in a small, windowless room. They could hear the others, but not see them. Every other voice was a pre-recorded tape. Then one of the voices began to change. He mentioned he was prone to seizures under stress, and then mid-sentence it started, choking, gasping, words coming apart. I'm going to die. Please. Someone, then a crash, then nothing. Darley and Latan sat behind a one-way mirror watching a clock. Believed they were the only one who could hear. 85% sprinted out before seizure finished. Then they changed one variable. Just one. 4 other people also listening. The same tape played. The same man begged. The same crash. The same silence. 62% did nothing. They sat in their chairs and listened to a man theoretically choke to death. They were sweating, trembling, gripping the edge of their chairs. When you are alone and someone needs help, full weight lands entirely on you. The moment you believe others are present, your brain divides the weight. 20% does not feel urgent. 20% feels like something someone else is probably already handling. Every single person around you running the exact same calculation simultaneously. The responsibility does not get shared. It evaporates. It belongs to no one. The crowd doesn't make you safer. The crowd acts as an anesthetic to human empathy. They put a subject alone in a room to fill out a questionnaire. Slowly, white smoke began coming through the vents. Alone, subjects jumped up within seconds and reported it. Then researchers placed 2 actors in the room instructed to ignore the smoke and keep writing. The room would fill with smoke until they were physically coughing, but they stayed. They would rather sit in a burning room than be the only one to break the social contract. In 1964, the bystander effect required physical proximity. Every day, millions encounter someone in distress online. A post asking for help that gets 3 likes and no replies. A video of someone being hurt that gets shared as entertainment before anyone thinks to report it. The crowd is now 8 billion people large. If 38 neighbors could convince themselves someone else would call, what happens when the crowd is 38 million? The modern bystander doesn't look out a window and go back to bed. They scroll past and keep scrolling. The mechanism is identical, only the scale has changed. The original Kitty Genovese story was later found to be partly wrong. Some of the 38 did call. One woman held Kitty as she died. The number was exaggerated by a newspaper editor who wanted a more dramatic story. But the exaggeration spread for 50 years because it felt true. Every person who read it recognized something in themselves. There is an antidote. It is simple and it is specific. If you are injured in public, do not shout, "Somebody help me." Somebody is a ghost. Point directly at one person. Look them in the eyes. You, in the red jacket, call 911. The moment you do that, the crowd shatters. 100% crashes back onto one person. You have pulled them out of the collective and forced them back into being an individual. The research shows this works with near certainty. One sentence, one person.
If you are ever standing in that crowd, and you will be, remember the math.
The feeling of waiting for someone else to move is not caution, it is a glitch. The 38 neighbors were not evil. They were caught in a mechanism they did not understand. You now know the name, which means next time you feel that pull, you will know what is happening. And you will know that the someone else they are all waiting for is you.